Hey, hey, hey. Can you guys see it? Did you guys see the go live button?
Yeah.
Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to Melanated Air. Da-da-da-da. This is Tuesday. If you're just watching, if you're watching us live or you're watching the replay, this is the Tuesday broadcast. As you know, we do two broadcasts, Tuesday and Thursday, 2:00 p.m. Eastern ish. You can find us on Melanated Air. You can find us on multiple different platforms across the YouTube and Facebook world. We do this as a group, as a unit. You see, there's four beautiful melanated women on your screen right now. I am one co-host. I am LaNée Javet. We also have Keisha Ravenell at We Inspire Brand, Madam President at the number one Madam President, and then Teddy Ewing at The Real Teddy Talks, tuning in from Egypt, which makes us an international broadcast. What's good, Geraldine? We see you. As you come into the room, say hello, say hi, say what's up. We about to talk about the Super Bowl performance. You know what it is. You know what it is. If you watched, I'm not going to ask you if you watched. I know you watched the Super Bowl halftime performance. So as you come into the room, leave your comments. Let us know what you thought of the Super Bowl halftime performance. Were you crip walking? Was you living through your? I've seen so many different posts about the halftime, and then we're going to talk about Mary J. Blige specifically. Okay, so we'll start with just the Super Bowl halftime. First of all, let me say I'm from California, so go LA Rams. Up until now, I really hadn't had an actual football team. I've been struggling with the Arizona Cardinals because I live in Phoenix, but I have officially decided that the LA Rams will be my home team going forward. I did get to catch the game. I went to the Arizona Cardinals game here in December. And so it was just amazing to see them pull that out, which is what they did here in Phoenix. They were down and then they flipped it and they were up. And so I know that they're just a great team in that last quarter. But the halftime show, it was so amazing. What do you guys think?
Before we get into it, I just want to say that we are just all looking beautiful in this black. And we did not plan this.
We didn't plan this, y'all.
We came through with the black.
I don't know what. Literally, no memo went out. Yes, no memo went out.
All right. So what's up? Well, how y'all feel about the Super Bowl halftime show?
I'll go. I'm gonna say I'm gonna be Teddy Downer from the start. Sorry, y'all, but I actually watched it. I watched it. It was either today or yesterday off of Facebook. I think my sister put up a clip of the whole halftime show. So it was very reminiscent of my childhood. Took me back, but I feel like everything's a ploy. Y'all know that. Everything is a setup, right? So I just feel like us as the Black people are being set up. We're made to forget the woes of the NFL and the things that they really support and represent. And we were here for it, right? So we were all supportive. I mean, just a year ago, maybe two, we're boycotting the NFL. And then now we're here loving it at the Super Bowl show. So from nostalgia, loved it. But I just, I'm not a big sports fan anyway. So I was just reminiscent of, see, there we go, being appeased again. So that's my feelings on it. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, I had to go first and do that.
Hey, it's perspective. That's the show. This is the Melanated Air Hour. For the hour, we talk about things from a melanated perspective, and we don't have to always agree. So it's good that you say that. And here's the thing: the fact that we still don't appreciate, the fact that the NFL still doesn't appreciate Black people doesn't change just because they had a dope NFL halftime show. So the issues with the NFL are not gone just because the show was great.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead, Keisha.
For me, I liked it. I wasn't blown away, but I thought it was cool. It was oh, okay, yeah, that was cool. I think that I probably would have. I mean, I know that Mary was on there and 50 was on there, and I'm from New York. But I think if I was from LA, if I was from California, I probably would have had a little bit more pride about it. But yeah, I thought it was cool. It wasn't something where I'm like, yo, that was crazy. It wasn't like that for me. But I love Snoop. I love Snoop. So when Snoop came on, I'm like, hey, I'm doing my fake crip walk.
Man, I realized I cannot crip walk anymore. I used to be able to. And when they came on, I tried to bust my crip. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, oh my God, I can't crip walk anymore. So yeah, that was a little bit disappointing. I can no longer crip walk. No more sea walking for your girl. What about you, Madam President?
I feel just like Teddy. I feel, very similar in the context that, I viewed it with a lot of apprehension, just very apprehensive about, should I be having this moment right now? Or are we done yet? And then I saw LeBron James and I saw a tweet that was kind of floating around down my timeline. And it says, "This is Black history." And Black history was made. And I'm like, we have to stop associating progression with entertainment. Just because a group of folks get a chance to have a good time and music and we get a chance to dance, that ain't freedom, honey. You know what I'm saying? We want our quality of everyday life completely changed, okay? And we're not substituting pay equality. We're not going to substitute police brutality. We're not going to substitute mass incarceration for a goddamn hip-hop halftime show. So we got issues that need to be completely addressed. But in the meantime, turn the music up. That's my song.
I think that's the thing. We have to realize it could be both. Like it can be both, and it should. I'm not gonna say it should be both. It can be both. Let me say that. I'm not gonna say it should. It can be both. Yeah, I am from California, so I was flying home from Atlanta. I rushed home, came in the house. I wanted to see it on my big screen, put it on my TV, turned YouTube on, and had a blast. I'm glad LA won in their house. The show was amazing. But it does not take away from the facts. I mean, there's so many things we can talk about. The fact that Eminem took a knee, right? We can talk about that. Nobody else took a knee, because I know that's what I've been seeing that in the news lately. How come none of the Black artists took a knee and the white boy took a knee? I've been reading that. I saw somebody say, I think it was Boyce, who actually said it was like, well, I loved it, but they was dancing in jail uniforms, which those are not jail uniforms, those are Dickie uniforms. It's a West Coast thing, so if you're not from the West Coast, maybe you don't know or get that. I saw some other comments of maybe Tupac should have had a hologram, and they didn't do enough to honor Tupac, which, I mean, I think the hologram thing is cheesy myself. There was a huge uproar when I think it was Justin Timberlake did it with Prince, and Prince's people specifically said, do not do a hologram. So there's so many different, commentaries and perspectives and ideologies about the Super Bowl itself. And I'm gonna stick with, it was the bomb. It was amazing. I felt good when I went to bed, but does not take away from what Madam President and Teddy said about the NFL, how they move, how they operate. Colin Kaepernick should be back playing ball by now. I feel like, God damn, like, what are we doing? But that's a whole other topic conversation. We won't do that today. So
can we address Eminem taking a knee? Because honestly, and maybe this is kind of my ignorance, but I didn't realize what he was doing until I saw it on social media. So I think it would have been more evident if it was during the national anthem or something. But he did that, and I didn't realize that's what it was. I thought that's just how he ended his performance. So I was just like, oh, okay, that's what he's doing. And then I saw all over social media, Eminem took a knee, and I was like, oh, that's what that was.
But and that's what kind of tickles me is not the right word. I don't know the right word, but why him? So why would he, out of all the Black entertainers on that stages, why was it him that did it? Was he just bold enough to do it? I feel like everything, I'm a conspiracy theorist all the time, is a setup. So I'm just like, even all the stars that were there, because you think about it, this was our generation's music, older, say 35 plus, even maybe not even Keisha. I'm sorry, girlfriend, but maybe 35 plus. That was our music. And the young people probably, besides the beat, can't even relate to it, right? So we're the ones that are bringing the movements. I think we're the ones that are butthurt over all of white supremacy and the things that are going on. So we got appeased in that halftime show. We're there in full force, all the whatever generation we are, we're there supporting. and seeing that and getting all nostalgic and being all hoorah for it and supporting the NFL and supporting the institutions and easily forgetting about the past. And the young people are like, well, what are they all into? So like, oh, that's cool. So then they get to be into it too. But the people in the audience, I mean, I saw Beyonce and Jay-Z, what's his, I'm about to say Tone Loc, oh God, LL Cool J, LL Cool J. I mean, just tons of people in there. And I just all think it was like, why are they really there? You know, like even Beyonce and Jay-Z were sitting Jay-Z was behind her and up above her. So it was a perfect frame for a cell phone photo that they were in the same frame. So they've been sitting next to each other. You may not have seen them in the frame. So I just feel like it's all like when I'm in the military and they're like, so-and-so's going to be here this afternoon. Make sure we show up in full force, as in, all of the people that are the gatekeepers, and they're all there in full force. So I don't know. Again, I feel it's a distraction. It was nice to watch, but I'm glad I watched it after the fact. I'm just not even in that whole NFL thing. I really never have been, but it was nice to watch after the fact, but I just really don't want to be distracted by the nostalgia, right? But that's it. That's my piece.
I feel like commonly it happened to us, but Keisha, the question was about Eminem, right? And taking the knee. You feel like, why did they allow him to do it over like?
Why did he do it? Right. What was the plan? Because he was the one that did it. Nobody else did it.
Somebody said that they didn't want to mess up their money, but it's to my understanding that none of them got paid, correct? That you don't get paid for.
Yeah, so you don't get paid when you perform at the Super Bowl. Nobody gets paid when they perform at the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, the Super Bowl. They cover all your costs. So they pay for everything. It doesn't cost the artist anything to perform, but they don't actually get a check at that moment.
That is absolutely a bunch of BS. Do you know how much a seat costs at the end to go to the Super Bowl? The tweets and the conversation was really an outrage at the fact that to sit in the nosebleeds, the seats were listed between $5,000 and $12,000 to sit in the nosebleeds. The commercial slots were about $7 million a slot. So you mean to tell me the whole industry, the NFL make all the money all the way around, but when it's time for the artists, that's where we draw the line. Oh, we don't pay people to perform, but you collect money through the door. You collect money.
We do that. Just like the cheerleaders.
And a lot of times we have to get realistic about some of these. Like some of this stuff is outdated. It's played out. Pay up. There's free. Every artist, I don't care, and I'm not advocating for these artists as if they don't have their own money, their own legal attorneys. This is them. There's their choice if they want to. And I get it. It is a big audience to be in front of. But in my opinion, if I have to physically show up and exude a physical energy, I'm going to need a check. In physical form, okay?
That's sometimey, because as entrepreneurs and business owners, we know that sometimes the opportunity is bigger than the check.
Well, that's the thing, LaNée. I'm gonna let everybody else say something because I know you're gonna slide into the Mary J. Blige, and is it bigger than the check? Because this is what gets us long term. See, everybody get us on the do this right now. It's going to have a greater benefit for the future. I'm physically showing up. I'm already physically a big name. Why wouldn't I be paid for this? Now, if I get out here and I'm doing my 2-step and I break my ankle and I'm down for the next 8 months, I ain't even get paid for the show. And I can't even take on any other opportunity for the next 8 months that come my way because of an injury. I'm not saying
that's no. Okay, so let's talk opportunity before we go into Mary J. Blige, because it will transition into the Mary J. Blige conversation, because I think you're making a good point. And opportunity, that's actually part of the Mary J. Blige conversation, if you will. And as entrepreneurs and business owners, which is who and what we are, and we talk about things that are happening in the real world from a melanated perspective and a business perspective. If you were offered, so you have a t-shirt company, correct? Shout out to the Freedom Company, which throw it out there real quick. So if you had the opportunity to showcase your t-shirts at Essence Festival, right? And they weren't going to pay you, but they were like, you can come and talk about doing t-shirts to our 50,000 people. Would you go and showcase your t-shirts to 50,000 people if they aren't paying you?
This is tricky. The short answer is yes. You know, I want to
because it's opportunity.
Like, you know, I'm like, okay, goddamn, 50,000 Black women got melanin. I'm not sure if I'm not gonna be like politically correct. But I'm also
there's a strategy to that. So this is the long game strategy. And I'm a shameless plug the conference that we're getting ready to do, the Black Power Women's Business Conference, right?
Yes.
The long game strategy is if their numbers are right. I don't know how many people saw the Super Bowl halftime show, and then how many more people will download it. Mary has a new album coming out. So she's promoting, basically, people are going to go buy a new album. If you're not familiar with her work, if you've never seen her before, her streams went up. So she made more money in streams. So there's a long game to opportunity. Sometimes you need people to cut the check. Like right now, I need you to cut the check. That's what it is. Especially as a speaker, sometimes I'll be like, people will ask me, will you come and speak for free? Well, hold on. My time is valuable. I'm not going to come and speak for free. Can I sell from the stage? Can I sell my product? Can I do merch? Cool. I will come and speak for free and show up for free if I can make money over this kind of a way. So it's not always that you have to get the check cut up front. Sometimes the opportunity is longer. Think about Beyonce with Coachella. She didn't get paid for Coachella, but she owned the rights to the recording. She sold it to Netflix. She did it like you. There's other ways to make money off of your name, your business, and your brand besides getting the check at that moment. Which is not to say you shouldn't get paid for your work, because other instances do say I need my money, but sometimes the opportunity can be bigger than the check.
I agree with you on that. Yeah. The one thing I will say too is, you know, where you are in business, you know, kind of will determine how you handle those kind of opportunities. Now, if I'm sitting pretty, LaNée, in essence, I'm gonna say, oh, I think I'm okay, but let me recommend this young lady who just got started. But that's me, you know, because I'm sitting pretty, and I think there has to be a limitation to, you know, sometimes I don't know, but you're right. You're absolutely right.
I remember the individual has to be able to look at the opportunity and make that decision, right? You should never be taken advantage of. You should never give more than what you are receiving. Like there's fine lines, and you know what I'm saying? This is not every situation, but I just wanted to play devil's advocate too. You should always get a check cut.
I feel like there has to be a strategy behind it. So nothing is free if there's a strategy attached to it. So LaNée, like the example that you gave with Beyonce. Now, I feel like if there was no strategy or there wasn't a way for them to make money, then yeah, that's messed up, because these are big names. So it's not, hey, Keisha, do you want to, you know, have your t-shirts at the Super Bowl, or do you want to teach, you know, in this big space or whatever? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that for free, you know, because I know that's an opportunity for me to get my name out there.
Right.
But when you have Beyonce, when you have Snoop, Mary J, like these are huge names. So I think it really does depend. It really does depend on who you are as a business owner. It depends on how big your name is. It depends on the platform. And then it depends on, is there an opportunity for you to make money? And I think, LaNée, you mentioned it, like that really is up to the business owner to decide, like, okay, if you're not paying me, how am I going to make money from this? You know, how am I going to maximize on this opportunity?
And then it always comes back to the money, right? Because I think there's some undertones of social justice, the search for equality, you know, fighting the machine. But if Mary, which we'll flow into in a shortly, can't pay her rent, then she need to get the bag. So then the next perspective is stop putting ourselves in positions where we can't pay our rent and we need to get the bag. And you're willing to do whatever it takes to do that, even though doing the Super Bowl is not something awful, right? It's not, you're not selling your soul, you're not doing anything like that. But do you believe in it, or you just need to get the bag to survive? We're always just surviving, right? We're always just trying to maintain our lifestyle. And we've talked about this before. What are you giving up to maintain this idea of your lifestyle that you need to have? What parts of your soul, your character, your integrity are you giving up to chase the bag?
And can I insert something here? I just want to say, and this is the beauty of being on Melanated Air, because you can't get this on any other network, because what I'm about to say, they wouldn't let me say it if I was on CNN, MSNBC, or anywhere else. So I'm glad to be here with my sister to say that Mamie Till, Emmett Till's mother, they asked her over and over and over again, could you not have an open casket? Can you please not show what they did to Emmett Till? She got calls from everybody. She refused. This woman refused. They say they gonna kill you. She said, I don't care. America will see what has been done to my child. There ain't a paycheck on the planet that could have been given to this woman to ensure that she didn't do what they was asking her to do. So a lot of times, a lot of us, we don't have the same, we don't have the same anything of some of the ancestors before us, because I don't know if it's so many of us physically have it that we really don't even consider that it ain't worth it. I don't want it. Let somebody else have it. For me in my house, no, thank you. That's not what we want. We stand in solidarity with the people in struggle and that's fighting against this. But it's so many people that are like this, I believe, in our community, that I don't even know, where do you stand?
Nowhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know?
And there'll be somebody waiting. If you say no, if Mary said no, if Dre would have said no, there would have been someone else ready to get up there and do the thing. So it's a rat race, man. That is a rat race. That is a rat race. And so it's a lose-lose for them, honestly, because they do it, they get talked about. Melanated Teddy Ewing giving her opinion about that. But if they don't do it, then they can't pay their rent. I mean, well, damn.
It's a no-win situation. Actually, there is a win. It just depends on. Here's the thing. There is a win. It's not your win. So each person's individual win is their win, but as a collective, we may have lost. But Mary won, Dre won, Eminem won, 51. They won. Their careers. The media is talking about them. Their money. She's getting a bag somewhere. She's paying her rent, so she's won. But when you think about the NFL won, but did social justice win? Right? There are other things that did not win. But it just depends on what side of the coin that you're on to determine whether or not there are winners in this situation. Now, we'll transition that into, since we're talking about, being able to make money, and we're talking about opportunity and would you do it. And so I'll ask one more question, and then we're going to transition to Mary talking not being able to pay her rent and now being at the Super Bowl. And somebody said it. Oh, I missed it. Somebody said Mary doesn't have a brand. And I'm not going to say that Mary doesn't have a brand. She does. She's at probably the end. She's at the other side of her career. I'm not going to say the end. She's at the other side of her career.
Yeah.
But what I would say is, if you think about,
I don't know if she's at the other side. I mean, she's a recurring actress on Power. It's one of the most popular TV series. She just did this. She just did a documentary on Netflix.
I'm saying she's not at the height of her career anymore. She's not at the height. Yeah. So if you think of like this, she's on this side. She's on this side. She's making money not from music anymore. She's
not from music.
Not from music. Yeah. She's not at the height of her career. She's still Mary J. Blige. Yes. Put some respect in her name. But she's not our Mary from our time anymore, right? So if you think about that, and you think about all the artists that performed at the Super Bowl from an opportunity standpoint and from a no-bag standpoint, which is what we're talking about right now, I definitely see how it makes sense. Dre is still Dre, but Dre is Dre. He's Dre to us. Mary is Mary. She's Mary to us. Snoop is Snoop. She's Snoop to, he's Snoop to us. Kendrick is kind of new school. Eminem's kind of in the middle, right? And there's this not gender war. What is it? Generational war that's going on Twitter right now between the millennials and the Gen X's, who are trying to decide who this Super Bowl halftime belongs to. Who do these artists belong to? And millennials are saying that it's theirs, and Gen X's are saying, no, let us have this. These are artists from our era. So with that being said, if you are a Gen Xer or a Gen X artist, who's, to Teddy's point, you're not at the end of your career, but you're you're not at the peak either. Do you take this type of opportunity?
But some people, they don't want it just for money. Some people have goals, right? Where it's like bragging rights. So they don't think, oh, well, I want to go to the Super Bowl to make money. They're probably like, look, I'm at the end, or I'm going toward the ending of my career, and this has been on my bucket list, and I want to do this just because I said I wanted to do it in my life. So we have to consider that as well. Like for us that are not artists, we may look at it like, you're not getting a bag. Like, what is wrong with you? For them who are artists and that have been in the music game for decades, they're like, wow, like this is a dope opportunity. So I think we have to look at that as well.
I don't think any entertainer would pass up the opportunity to be front and center on the stage with an audience like that. Like you couldn't even consider yourself an entertainer if you're going to turn down the event that's going to bring us the most entertainment. So I think anyone worth their salt in entertainment would never say no. And that's the problem with being almost mainstream in entertainment, because you'd be a fool to turn it down. Just like Kevin Hart when he was going to host the Oscars, and then all the stuff came out about the comment he made against homosexuality back in the day, and he ended up not doing it. Like that crushed him, because that was his lifetime goal, like Keisha said, to host it, and he didn't get the opportunity. So of course they would do it, and no, they shouldn't turn it down, because that is their lifelong goal. That is what they're working towards, to entertain.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys a question. This is a little bit off topic. I didn't prepare you guys for this. I didn't tell you guys about this question, but it's something I'm thinking about having a conversation with on one of my personal lives. But the question is, what would your Super Bowl look like for you in your life, right? So the NBA has the championship games. The NFL has the Super Bowl. Golf has the PGA. Only sports have like this final championship, like a bucket list, if you will. If you could have a Super Bowl for your life or your career or your business or whatever it may be, what would it be? What would it look like? And if you don't know the answer now, we'll circle back to the end. But I was thinking about this when I was getting dressed. I was like, what would my Super Bowl be? Like, how do I win a Super Bowl ring for me in my life? What is that? I don't play sports. So as an entrepreneur, what's my Super Bowl? It can't be making $1 million. It can't be making $5 million. Like, what would a Super Bowl look like for you? That's good. I couldn't answer. I couldn't answer. Yeah. I'm like, damn.
You have to think about that.
LaNée, you hit us with one, didn't you?
I don't know about the end, but let me think about it for a second.
Okay, so we'll circle back around to the Super Bowl question. Okay, so let's get into Mary J. Blige from the business perspective, not being able to pay her rent. So there's an article that says that Mary J. Blige was not able to, that she had to tour because she couldn't pay her rent. So this last tour she did, she was on tour. She had to pay her ex-husband alimony, and she didn't have the funds, so she had to go on tour. And she was telling this story because her new project, Hello Gorgeous, which is a dope CD, I have it. One of the songs in it is called Rent Money, and they were asking, like, where does this song Rent Money come from? And she was like, well, I couldn't pay my rent. And there's so many things to unpack. How are you Mary J. Blige and you can't pay your rent? And we're again, Melanated Air, we look at real life situations from a business perspective. So we're looking at this as a woman, who's getting divorced, a woman who has a business, a woman who's been in the game for a very long time, and now through divorce can't pay your rent due to alimony. There was definitely some business stuff that probably should have been put together better.
I don't know. What I would like to think is, it was like I grew up with my mom, and I do the same thing. I have a budget. So when I'm out of my checkbook money, I'm broke, literally broke, like $0. I might go to buy something. They're like, ain't no money in there. And I'm okay with that, because that means I've exceeded my budget. It does not mean I don't have any money. It doesn't mean I can't make a transfer. It don't mean that I need to buy a house. I couldn't buy a house. It just means that my checking account balance is low because I've exceeded my budget for that month. So maybe instead of her liquidating her assets, pulling out that money market account or whatever, she's like, I'm cash broke and I need to make this money back up. I need to make my buffer back up so that I can continue my life the way it was before I got divorced. So hopefully that is what it meant, and not that she literally couldn't pay rent, because she should have mortgages anyway. But anyway, so maybe it was just a superficial statement to say, yeah, I'm broke. I'm cash broke right now, and I need to get back on tour to get some more money.
And it kind of read like that. Go ahead, Keisha. Sorry.
I was just going to say, hopefully that's what it is. But I feel that in the music industry, we see time and time again where they make these bum deals and the deals don't protect them. They don't get any money out of it. And then I feel like it goes back to that fame where it's just like, oh, I'm going to be famous, right? Like I'm going to be on stage and like people are going to get to know me. But then the business side of it is you're broke. So we saw it with like New Edition. We saw it with TLC, right? So we see this time and time again where our Black artists, they're not getting the money that they should be getting. And these are huge artists. So Teddy, I hope that's what it is, but I don't know. And this actually reminded me of the conversation that we had a couple months ago about the prenup. So I'm like, was there like a prenup in place? Like what was in place to...
She alluded to one. She alluded to a prenup and a postnup, but she said something to the effect in that article, something to the effect of she wanted to not honor it. She said she wanted not to honor the prenup. So it appears there was one, and she agreed to whatever the settlement was, but I don't know. That's how the story read.
Prenups need to be more specific, because a lot of times people write these prenups early on and they're just general, but some of these higher ups or corporate or Fortune 500 companies, they write in certain discrepancies relative to if you cheat. So like if you cheat or you do this, you don't get this, or you get extra that. And so when they probably did their prenup, they probably weren't thinking about, indiscretions. And therefore now she's like, hell no, I don't want to pay him this money. He cheated. Like, why would I give him this? And he cheated. Right. So it says here, the Queen of Hip Hop Soul said, rent money is about when I first got divorced. I had to give up all this alimony, and I didn't have no more money to give because he had spent it all. She explained. So I had to go, on tour and make all the money back to pay the alimony. The multi-Oscar nominee says that her finances were so stretched that she didn't have the resources to pay for housing. I didn't have no money to pay my rent and all this other stuff, she continued. But it's also a metaphor like I didn't have my soul. I was just drained of everything. So it was time for somebody to pay. Sometimes you just feel like somebody's got to pay. In 2017, Blige was ordered to pay $30,000 a month in alimony to her ex-husband. Originally, his lawyers requested quadruple the amount to help him sustain his lifestyle. Bitch ass. Anyways, Isaac claimed that he had experienced physical manifestations of stress and emotional distress with this matter, which has caused him to become hospitalized. He said that he was unemployable, and without her financial support, he would be destitute, and paying rent has become impossible. I'm gonna need him to get a job.
I was thinking
he had a very good job before. That's just, but I saw who said it. Sarah Cox. She said that's her fault. And I'm telling you, that is her fault. I would have had the ironcladdest damn contract. After watching Halle Berry and Eric Benet go through their mess, there ain't no way I'm gonna have assets and not make sure they are locked tight in a prenup. Ain't no way. I don't care how in love I am. Ain't no way I'm gonna be looking like she had to look at the end of that time. No way. And if I did, I always say to my husband now, I said, we come out of this and he trying to get some alimony from me, I said, I'm gonna take it out your ass every month. You're gonna have $30,000 worth of expenses, whether your tires is flat, your windows is broke out. Every month, if you getting it, you gonna be paying it. You will never get money like that out of me. Period.
That's right.
I just want to say that Mary J. Blige, and I truly believe that Mary J. Blige should be respected in the same magnitude as a Beyonce Knowles. Beyonce brand has, Beyonce and the Obamas, whoever are responsible for their marketing and their branding, are truly a evolutionary group, the way they branded these people. So if you look at Mary J. Blige's career, She literally started, I believe, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Here she is. I don't know the math, but that's almost what 30 years of
30 years. 30
woman
years.
has been entertaining America for 30 years. But let me tell you why people probably don't respect Mary in the same magnitude, because she can't give you half black and half white. She can't go and she's of another race. But she's a black woman, a real black woman who come from the streets of New York. She got nothing but trauma all through her family, come from the projects. And then she said when she first started, she was straight up just giving fame. Here she is coming from the projects with don't know where I'm about to sleep. And then they putting me on a road going everywhere. I'm just singing. I don't know nothing about a contract. And this is what happens when you don't have a father. This is what happens when you don't have people to protect you. Because nobody, even the men in the industry, even Diddy, didn't come with the mindset to protect the queen. Yep. How you gonna be the queen with no protection? Mm-hmm. How you gonna be in the industry 30 years and you gonna get bamboozled by a man? Come on now, this is crazy. Yeah. Her lawyer should be protecting her. Diddy and all of the people should be protecting her. But I'm gonna say this, as I always said, Diddy is the only bad boy with the big house.
Yep. He's the gatekeeper. Yep. He's a gatekeeper. Snoop's a gatekeeper. 50 Cent's a gatekeeper. Those folks is older, still out there, still relevant. How is Snoop Dogg still relevant? I mean, come on, y'all. I know this ain't the subject, but what? Snoop Dogg, come on now. You got cooking shows.
That's Snoop relevant because he's diversified. He ain't relevant because of his music.
You said what?
I said Snoop is only relevant because he diversified. He's not relevant today because of his music.
I don't know,
his music is classic. He has classic music, but today's conversation, he has the show with Kevin Hart. He had the thing with Martha. His diversification is what has kept him relevant.
But who's letting him diversify? Let's admit that there are gatekeepers. There are people that says this is going to be relevant. This is not going to be relevant. We're only going to have this type of rap now, mumble rap. We're not going to have this. We're not going to talk about love no more. We're not going to talk about this. So someone is saying, okay, Snoop, you can come in this. You can come in this. You can do that. So I don't know. But Snoop ain't, his music is great, but his music is no more great than a lot of other artists that you never hear from ever again. So, and he, anyway, I get to my conspiracy theory. I'm going to let it go.
This is another thing about business. I mean, we look at the different portfolios, like you talked about Teddy and LaNée and Keisha. You talked about the different portfolios that these rap artists have been able to expand into, whether it be liquor, which I find a little problematic, that all the we easily can produce the liquor in the liquor stores, but I'm not going to go into that. My point is, where did Mary diversify? Nas talked about how he invested in Uber. I don't know which company it was, but it was a company that he invested in a time or two. Jay-Z talks about his investments. Who isn't having the proper conversation with Mary? At this point, 30 years of labor, Mary's only funds and income should not be from performing. Yeah. That don't make sense.
If you think about it, to your point, what you just said, she was married to Kendu for 12, 15 years. He was her manager. So some of that, her husband was her manager who was leading her astray, spending up all her money, running her into the ground, sleeping with other people. So to your point, she probably should have had I'm going to be careful how I say this. You should be in business with your spouse and your significant other. I'm not saying you should not. And I'm the single person, so I know they're about to come for me in the comments. So I'm not saying you should not, but you should definitely make sure that they have your best interest at heart. That's what I'll say. I'll let Teddy say anything else because she's married.
And you need to have a team. You got to have a team of people that are helping to double check what you're doing. So he shouldn't be the end all be all. You should have a lawyer. You should have a CPA. You should have an advisor. You should have all these other elements that are helping make the story make sense. Make it make sense. That's how somebody named Make It Make Sense. You got to make it make sense. You don't get to. And you know what? Mary has had a traumatic life.
She has.
But at some point, Y'all gonna hate me. We gotta take accountability
I was gonna
for
say
the
that.
road we go down. You can't keep making the same damn mistakes, just make them look a little different. You can't. You can't. I remember in 2005 when she came out with her album, and she said it was the first, it was all that I can say, I think was the name of the popular song from that album. She was saying how the rest of her albums that I adored, she was so unhappy. She was on drugs. She was this, that, and the other. Then she's making this music and she has such a revelation and this, and we just keep, I mean, life is a series, it's cyclical, it's a series of ups and downs and events, but we can't keep starting over, y'all. When we're in our 50s, I think she's 51 or 52. We can't keep starting over. You know, we have to eventually, because when is our heaven? What is our garden? When are we going to be happy? When do we get to kick back and enjoy the spoils of our labor?
Well, that's the thing.
In hot pants and thigh-high boots at 51 on stage. I mean, damn.
Well, that's
actually good. That's actually good as hell.
It looks good, but is that what you really? That's not what I want to be doing at 51. I want to be enjoying.
She's an entertainer.
Yeah.
Also,
when do you stop entertaining? But when
that's true.
She got to pay her rent.
But what I wanted to say was too about that. If you listen to the video, she said, you know, you're gonna constantly getting paid off the opportunity over and over. It's like, how many opportunities can one have at this point in the game, where it's like, okay, no, the incentives have to start changing for me. And I do believe that Mary is at an age and at a time in her life where them suits sitting across the table with folks, that don't even faze me no more. It's okay, can I see the fine print? I need a lawyer to check the lawyer. Let's get this going and how can I stop singing and getting paid? Because that's the next option too, is, you know, how can I get some of this stake? Because everybody, I think, I read a book some time ago, everybody wants the same thing. The employee and the employer both are after the same thing. The employee want to make the most money with the less time invested. And the employer wants to get the most out of you,
out of the employer,
money invested. We all have the same objective. Mary got to understand that too. So it's like, I don't know. I think that she does. I have a very, what's the word? I'm sensitive to Black women and the struggle. So it's like I'm softer on that side, and I know it's not fair, and I know it's not always right, but I am softer when it comes to women and trying to excel and exceed, because I know that if an industry is male dominated, men are predominantly respected. So when you have a woman who does come, they just want you to sing and dance. When you start talking about business as a woman, people start asking you not to come.
Yeah.
So it's hard. But as a man, people love the boys club. Come on in here. You know, have a seat. Let me sit down. Let me show you how to have Mary working for 50 years. And all you got to do is provide the detour for 10. That's a problem.
Yeah.
So somebody said something over here. Hold on. Mary J, I saw we even belly. I thought, oh Lord, that's not nice to say about
that's
a Black woman.
I ain't knocking. Why you look for? I ain't knocking Mary. I'm just saying I'm shooting for the passive income part of my life.
Oh, here it is. Kiara Williams. I don't see the problem with her outfit she wears. She looks great as ASF for her age. So I do want to say that, and I'll say it, but I'll also pose the question, and you guys in the comments let me know what you think. 51 is not 51 anymore. I mean, 51 is 51, but it's not our mom's 51.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I thought 50 was going to be by looking at my mom and our grandparents, but now that I'm 45, pushing up on 50, I feel like I'm young. I'm a spruce goose. Like, I'm still out here, you know, I'm still good. So I don't feel like 51 is too old to wear what you want to wear. Now, would I wear thigh-high boots? Yes. The booty shorts, probably not. But the question is 51?
I don't think 51 is too old to be in the outfit. I'm just saying, how long do you need to be doing this to make ends meet? Whatever her ends look like, to make them meet It's an opportunity of a lifetime. We've already established that. She's an entertainer. She wouldn't pass it up. So I'm not really knocking her in the outfit. I'm just saying, when do you get to enjoy the spoils of your labor?
Right.
And I'm in that plan where I'm going to start enjoying the spoils of my labor very soon, where I start enjoying my family and my friends and experiences. And I don't feel stressed out, and I'm not unhappy, and I'm not feeling like someone's taking advantage of me and things like that. So that's all I'm saying is like, you got to get to that point.
I think you made a good point, though. I think it's different for everybody because Mary doesn't have any kids.
Yeah.
So and retirement is different for everybody. And enjoying the fruits of your labor, your spoils, is different for everybody. Patti LaBelle still performs.
She does.
Diana Ross still performs.
Tina's still performing.
Tina's still performing.
Yeah.
I mean, Aretha
when you do what you love, you don't really stop.
You don't stop, but you're not in the rat race. You don't, Aretha, what's her name? Patti LaBelle ain't sitting around like, yeah, the Super Bowl, I've never done it, but I'm open. She probably like, all that energy, 30,000. No, baby, no. I can't see good because I need to be able to see the words. Have you ever seen Patti trying to memorize a song?
I saw them on Versus. Patti was getting it. Oh, who was it? Patti and Gladys on Versus.
Hey, Gladys.
I was here like, come on now.
I do think Mary is at the end, but I do think Mary has to have a new beginning. And I think this should be the last time that she go down the pathway of like financial hardship. But also too, Mary got family, and it's one thing to be like giving your cousins $40. It's a whole nother thing when you the millionaire and the celebrity of the family, and folks got big issues and they always call you, and you're trying to, also help your family. I think it's a big dynamic that she has to juggle. And I think that Mary is just, now you think about blonde hair now. Mary been rocking blonde hair for 30 years too.
Yeah.
So Beyonce was doing it. Mary did it. The bamboo earrings, Mary did it. But see, America they couldn't cross Mary over. They couldn't cross her over, but Mary is legendary. I don't ever want anybody to walk away from this podcast and think that Mary J. Blige ain't the, hip hop soul. Like, she the queen of that era. And there's nobody who has a length like Mary. But like Adele, Mary should be chilling and deciding, oh, I don't want to do an album. I'm chilling. I'm flying out. I'm doing this. I'm chilling. Period. Why Black women always got to work so hard for hours? Because we sitting around in environment where we're not protected. And let me say something about the brothers. Mary being 50, the men 50 as well.
They are
50-year-old.
Yep.
And Dre look 55 or however he is. He's looking, he don't look bad for his age. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he don't look spry. He don't look like he's 25.
Right.
Walking down from the piano. It takes
50 either.
They didn't want each other. Mary, Diddy, all of them, they didn't want each other. When they was 25 and they was 27, they weren't looking at each other like most people would look. Oh, you're a producer, I'm a singer. Let's come together. Let's build a legacy. No, they jumping on the girls that's 19. So it's like, I'm with Mary J. I hope she get it right this go round, but she is the queen and I respect her as such.
Yes. She definitely should get way more props than what she gets. I believe she gets decent amount from us as Black people, Black men, Black women, but from her music in general, her genre of music in general, she definitely should have been at a Beyonce level. Like her music is just, I can think about my life and my soundtrack has a lot of Mary J. Blige to it. Mary has the type of music where you can listen to it cover to cover, song to song, something applicable. And so she is a beautiful person. She's a beautiful soul. And so it has been, even just as her audience and her fans, traumatizing to us to see her have lived this life and to have seen her life go this way. And I guess at the end of the day, we pray that, that it turns out better, that it ends better, that she's found herself, that she loves herself, and that she grows from this. Her new album is very light. And I hope this doesn't sound ignorant to say, but I'm going to say it anyways, but I don't mean it to be ignorant if it sounds this way. But when I first heard it, I was like, God, there's no pain in any of these songs. And I didn't mean it, again, not to be ignorant, but I just noticed, usually when you hearing her songs are more drama, and it's always something like, yes, girl, I had a bad day today. Sing it, Mary. But this album was I was like, okay, that's very light. Oh, okay, that's light. Oh, okay. And even the songs that were a little bit like the No Rent, it was empowering. So I think her music has gone from kind of like this down soulful music to a more empowering music. So even though it's it's relative to something that happened, I couldn't pay my rent, it's an empowering version of the songs, an empowering version of the music. So it's still soulful. The sound is still light. Good Morning Gorgeous is my song I played in the morning. Like, come on, Good Morning Gorgeous, and amazing. It's just very light, and it's good to see her in this place.
I love that.
Exactly.
And we want the best for her. I mean, I think my life and Share My World got me through basic training. It got me through leaving home from Ohio, moving to California at the age of 17, away from my family, away from my friends for the very first time. And I've never gone back home, to live again. And I want the best for her. That song with her, Method Man, All I Need, that was love. I love it. Like, I want the best for Mary J. Blige and everyone else like her. I don't want to see her struggling at this age financially. I don't want to see her going through heartbreak. She can't control that her husband cheated, but she can control her prenup. And the people that she surrounded herself with need to be helping to protect her. Because I'm all about that circle. Don't have nobody around you that's going to have you struggling and they know better. So that irks the hell out of me. So I want the best for Mary, and I want her to keep growing so she can enjoy. And if she's enjoying herself, well, damn it, you enjoy yourself, lady. But if you're not, I want you to get there. And whatever you got to take to get there, I want to see you do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully moving forward, she ain't messing with no bum, because that's I can't.
It's an expensive lesson to learn.
Yeah.
As we get older, right? We make a lot of mistakes when we're young, financial mistakes, but the older you get, the less you can make the mistakes and still recover.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So as we start to power down, if you're watching, thank you so much for tuning in to the Melanated Air Hour. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern. You can catch us on Melanated Air on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all those wonderful places. You can also follow each one of us individually. You see our handles right here. I am LaNée Javet. That's my name as well as my handle. You can find Keisha Ravenell at We Inspire Brand. You can find Teddy Ewing at The Real Teddy Talks, and Madam President at the #1 Madam President with a Z. Before we go, I want to circle back around to my question about the Super Bowl for your life. If you don't know it today, you still don't know it. That's fine. You still, but it's just something to think about. So I will ask the question again. If you know it, cool. If you don't know it, something to think about. So the question is, sports have these championship bouts. They work hard throughout this whole season, and at the end of the season, they're all competing for this top spot, right? In football, it's the Super Bowl. In NBA, it's the championship playoffs, right? Western Division, whatever the case might be. In golf, it's the PGA tournament. In hockey, it's the Cup. What in your life are you using as your Super Bowl or your top or your peak, or I have arrived? I've worked hard and I've made it to the Super Bowl in my life. What would that be for you? What does it look like?
My Super Bowl is me sitting on my porch overlooking a body of water on multiple acre property that I own, with my husband and my children there, with about 20K in passive income. I will be happy, and that is my Super Bowl. I will have made it. Passive income, y'all. I mean, I could sleep all day and still get that 20K. I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah. My Super Bowl look like Teddy's.
And I just, my Super Bowl look like Teddy's too, but I just want to add to it that my mom, my family, my loved ones, they're taken care of. Like, they don't want for nothing. You know, like, that is my ultimate goal, that like my husband is good, my kids are good, and my mom is good, my family is good, you know? So it's like, we don't have to worry about money. We don't have to worry about paying mortgages and rents, and we don't have to worry about that. Like, we do what we want, like that true, not just financial, but that true like time freedom.
Yeah.
That's good.
LaNée.
Yeah.
So, my Super Bowl would, of course, start with my family, and by family I mean, my son, my mom. I would be married. I would have a
Your
husband.
future husband, yes.
My future husband, yeah, my husband would be in that. My future husband, when I'm gonna meet him. Like I think I might meet him this week. We'll see.
Yes.
I'm manifesting. Keisha got me on this manifesting your husband. I'm like, husband. So my husband, this would be my partner in love, my partner in empire, my partner in business. I like the water thing, but I don't see myself being still. So I would be traveling the world, speaking, talking to Black business owners, Black entrepreneurs, and Black people, empowering, uplifting. I see myself traveling and speaking at least till I'm like 70. Like I love Black people, and being in front of and intertwined and in the midst of Black people has to be a part of my Super Bowl. But my Super Bowl would be that I will have impacted and changed the lives of 1 million Black people that are at least making six figures or more. That would be my Super Bowl, like impacting my community, making sure that when I leave this earth, at least 1 million people have said, because of you, I changed my life. I broke generational curses. I was able to take care of my family. I was able to pay whatever the case might be. And I'm a little bit more bougie, so I probably need more like 75 to 100,000 on passive income, only because I want to be able to take care of those people that I'm meeting and seeing. If I come across somebody and they say they can't pay their bills, they can't pay their rent, or they can't do something in the business, I want to be like, here, I got you. Don't worry about it. Go take care of that, sis. So not just me and my family, but anybody that I come into contact with that is Black, that needs assistance or financial help, I want to be able to make sure that I can cover it. So that would be the Super Bowl for me. If I could take care of me and my community, I would be like, all right, that's the qualm. I've arrived.
All right.
I like
Love it.
too.
All right. The Super Bowl conversation doesn't stop here today as individuals, because you who are watching should be thinking about, what does the Super Bowl look like for you in your life? Are you at the halftime? Are you performing in your halftime show right now in your life? Are you at the beginning of the football is played in quarters? Are you at the back half of your quarters? What does the Super Bowl look like for you in your personal life? It's just something to think about if you've never thought about that before. Like, how do you know when you've arrived, when you've achieved, when you got in the end zone of your life? So anyways, great topic today, great conversation. Do you guys have any final thoughts before we close out for the day?
I don't.
I don't.
I think I said enough.
Talked it.
I know.
All right. Well, we thank you all for tuning in for Melanated Air. Again, we do this every Tuesday and Thursday, 2:00 p.m. Eastern. You can follow us and/or go subscribe and or watch any of our previous videos at Melanated Air. We are on YouTube. You also can check us out individually. You do see everybody's everybody's handle with their name. We each are entrepreneurs doing different things. Entrepreneurs, business coaches, t-shirt coaches, all different types of things. We have a business conference that's going to be coming up at the end of the month. So please make sure you stay tuned in. It's going to be amazing. Until we see you guys again, remember to be blessed, stay Black, and be one.